A point has an impact only when it is said in the right order. Amplify Your Influence Part 2 Feet. Imagine you have a very big idea, an idea that can change your job, business or relationship, yet the listener rejects it the moment they hear it. You speak correctly, the intention is clear, there is weight in your words, but the result does not come. The listener becomes defensive midway, the boss says not now, the team goes quiet, and the client makes up their mind internally that this deal should not be done. The fear starts from here, because many times your point is not wrong, it's just the order that is wrong. And the right point said in the wrong order can create resistance in people's minds. The curiosity is exactly this: if the same message, the same words and the same idea are spoken in a different sequence, can its impact change completely? In Amplify Your Influence, René Rodriguez explains that communication is not just the art of speaking, it is the art of deciding which point to speak first, which one later, and which point to leave for the end. In Part 1, we learned that attention is the biggest battle of today's world. Between notifications, ads, reels, and endless content, capturing someone's attention is not easy. But the work does not end after capturing attention. The real challenge starts when you have to frame your message in such a way that the listener understands it, accepts it, and is ready to take action on it. This is where the importance of sequence comes in. Sequence simply means keeping points in the right order. Just as a story has a beginning, a middle, and a twist, similarly, every powerful communication has an order. If a teacher starts teaching difficult sentences to a child first, and teaches the alphabet later, the child will get confused. In the same way, if a speaker states the conclusion first and gives the context later, the audience might resist. Our brain needs its own way of processing information. The brain wants to understand the situation first, then see the problem, then grasp the reason, and after that it accepts the solution. But what do we usually do? We jump straight to our point. We think that the message is important, so the listener will understand immediately. This is the biggest mistake. What is clear to you is not necessarily clear to the audience. Your preparation is in your mind, but the listener is walking on that path for the first time. Therefore, the communicator's job is not just to speak, but to build a path in the audience's mind. If the path is clear, the message will move forward. If the path is tangled, the message will get stuck right there. René connects this process with 3 practical steps: predict, preempt, and prevent. These 3 English words might sound simple, but their impact in communication is very deep. Predict means to guess beforehand. What might the audience think after hearing your point? Where can a doubt arise? At what point can resistance be created? Often while preparing a speech, people only think about what they have to say. But a powerful communicator thinks about what the listener will feel after hearing their words. Suppose you want to bring a big change in your company. For you, that change is growth, but for employees it can be uncertainty. You think that this new system will take the company forward. But the staff might think, is my job in danger? Will the workload increase? Will the old ways be finished? If you don't predict this fear beforehand, your announcement can put people in a panic instead of motivating them. The same thing happens at home. If you suddenly announce a big decision, the family will question it. But if you first explain the background, give the reason, and make space for emotions, then the point is accepted much more easily. Predicting is necessary because resistance does not come suddenly. Resistance is often hidden in the audience's mind beforehand. Your words just bring it to the surface. When a communicator sees the resistance beforehand, they can change the order of their speech. They don't attack the difficult point directly but slowly lead the audience there. The second step is preempt. It means to address the resistance before it arrives. That is, you should include the answers to questions the audience might ask in your story beforehand. This is exactly like slowing down the speed when you see a pothole on the road. The pothole hasn't disappeared, but the accident was prevented. In communication, a preemptive strategy means not ignoring the audience's fear, doubt, and confusion, giving it respect, naming it, and then calmly answering it. Suppose a CEO wants to implement a new system in his company. If he just says, everything will change from tomorrow, people will get scared. But if he first says, I know that change is not easy. Some people will feel that the workload will increase, some will feel that the old way was better. But we have chosen this step because to move to the next level, we have to strengthen our process. Then the message will feel different. Here, the leader is not running away from resistance. He is accepting it. This acceptance builds trust. Trust is built when the listener feels that the speaker has understood their concern. If the audience feels that you are just imposing your point, they will shut down. The biggest advantage of preempt is this. You save the conversation from becoming defensive. You open a door in the wall of the listener's mind before it even forms. The third step is prevent. It means stopping unnecessary resistance from growing. When you have predicted first and then preempted, the audience can process the information more smoothly. Prevent does not mean that no questions will be asked. It means that your message will be so balanced that the audience will not go into panic, anger, or confusion. Many times people make mistakes in communication because they speak the truth, but they do not speak the truth carefully. Speaking the truth is necessary, but the sequence of the truth is equally necessary. If tough news has to be given to a team, context is needed first. Then honesty is needed. Then a path forward is needed. If you just state the problem and walk away, people will be left in fear. This is why good leaders are not afraid of difficult conversations, but they do them after planning. They know that if the point goes in the wrong sequence, resistance will be created before the solution. In part 1, we connected influence with attention and connection. In part 2, that same idea moves forward. Attention is gained, connection is made. Now the message has to be taken inside through the right path. If the question in part 1 was, how should people listen to me? Then the question in part 2 is, how should people accept what I say? To get them to accept, first you have to understand the audience's mental position. What belief are they already sitting with? What are they afraid of? What loss do they see? Every audience is not a blank page. Every person listens to your point along with their experience, fear, ego, and expectation. That is why the same message does not work the same way everywhere. A point that can be said directly in an office meeting might need to be said emotionally at home. In sales, a point that starts with client benefit might need to start with team purpose in leadership. The sequence changes according to the audience. This is the maturity of communication. A mature communicator does not repeat words, they adapt the message. Now understand Darren's story. He is the CEO of a startup company. He has a plan to change the company. For him, this change is necessary, strategic, and important for future growth. But Darren knows that what looks like an opportunity to a leader can look like a risk to employees. Growth visible from the top can become insecurity from the inside. If Darren had made the announcement without preparation, perhaps fear would have spread in the team. People would have talked in the corridors, rumors would have been made, and resistance would have stood up before the change even started. That is why Darren predicted first. He thought about which departments might resist the most. Who would be in confusion? Which group would feel that their role would become weak? Then he made a preemptive strategy. He talked to important people first. He told them why the change is necessary, what direction the company will get from this, and how people will get support. This conversation did two things. On one hand, people's fear reduced a little. On the other hand, Darren got feedback. He understood what points in the plan needed more clarity. This feedback is very important. Many leaders take feedback as opposition, but the right feedback is a warning signal. It tells you where the audience can get confused. When Darren made the final announcement, he didn't just recite a policy. He told the story of the company's beginning. He showed that this change is not sudden, but the next step in the journey. The story made the message human. If he had only spoken data, people would have looked at the process. But after hearing the story, people started seeing the purpose. Then Darren also accepted that change would not be easy. There would be stress. Adjustment would be needed. But he also gave the assurance that in the long run, this change could be better for everyone. This is the powerful sequence. First context, then emotion, then honesty, then direction. If the direction had been given first and the emotion had come later, people would have resisted. But when emotion found a place, the direction became more acceptable. This lesson is also important for every creator. In a YouTube video, sequence is everything. If you state the entire conclusion at the very beginning, why would the audience stay? First build the scene, then show the fear, then awaken curiosity, then give information gradually. This is what keeps the audience tied to the video. But this does not mean that the point should be dragged unnecessarily. Sequence does not mean delay, it means clarity. It is not about taking the audience in circles, but taking them along the right path. A good script makes the audience feel that every paragraph is naturally connecting with the previous one. No jumps, no confusion, no sudden lectures. In communication, a sudden jump is the most dangerous thing. When a speaker moves from one idea to another without a bridge, the audience is left behind. Building the bridge is the speaker's responsibility. Small transitions like why, how, now think, and this is where the point changes, keep the audience along. The effect of sequence is seen even more in voiceover. If the script is in the right order, even an AI voice catches the emotion better. The pause comes naturally, suspense is built, and the weight of the line is felt. But if the script is scattered, no matter how good the voice is, the impact becomes weak. Words are heard, but a story is not formed. Therefore, before every strong message, ask yourself 3 questions. Where will the audience resist? How do I address that resistance beforehand? And how do I stop confusion from growing? With these questions, a speech becomes both simple and strong. You remove unnecessary points and put the right point in the right place. These 3 P's, predict, preempt, and prevent, can improve any conversation. Whether you are asking for a salary raise, giving a client pitch, or explaining a tough decision to the team. But here, one thing must be remembered. Sequence is not a trick. It is respect for the listener's mind. You are not forcing the audience, you are giving them a path to understand. You are not suppressing their concern, you are listening to it beforehand. This is ethical influence, where the speaker does not just want to win, but wants to give clarity to the listener. When communication happens in this way, people not only listen but start walking along with you, because they feel that this point is not against them but with them. Part 1 taught us that influence starts with attention. Part 2 teaches us that after getting attention, sequence is what makes the message effective. But now the story is about to get more interesting. Because knowing the right sequence is one thing, and framing your idea in such a way that the audience sees it from the perspective you want to show is another. In the next part, the curiosity is what frame is, and why sometimes an entire conversation is decided before winning or losing, just because someone took the frame in their hands at the beginning.
If this video has taught you something new, or if you feel this information should reach more people, don't forget to like and share the video. Your small share can become valuable and useful information for someone else. If you have any questions related to this topic, or if you would like to share your opinion with us, be sure to write in the comment box. We read every question and suggestion from you, because your feedback inspires us to create better content. And if you want to keep receiving such interesting and reliable information about business, the economy, and the world in the future, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel GRT Business and also press the bell icon so that you get notifications of every new video directly. At GRT Business, we always strive to provide you with accurate, balanced, and reliable information. Our news and analysis are prepared based on information obtained from various news agencies, public sources, and public opinion. We make every effort to verify and validate each fact as much as possible. But in case of any possible error or dispute, the responsibility lies with the respective sources. Our only aim is to present you with a correct and trustworthy perspective so that you can understand any topic better.